Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in one. Today's show is: should I wait until I get married before buying a home? My answer is no, you shouldn't. You don't have to. Owning a home gives you a sense of financial security and stability. Do not sacrifice that because you are unmarried. You don't know if you are even going to get married. Some men will actually find you more attractive when they see that you've actually gone for a goal. But of course, be very careful because a few of them are gold diggers. Okay, so women, men, don't put off what you can do today for marriage. If that's what you want, if owning a home is what you want to do, go ahead and do it. Women like me, I am of the Generation X era. The statistics were that we women outnumbered men. So off the bat, most of us, we're never going to get married anyway. It's something that some of us have to accept. Some of us still keep hope alive. But even while we are keeping hope alive, we are not going to wait for a significant other. Let me be open because I do realize that there are people with different sexual preferences out there. We are not going to hold out and stop living just because we haven't found that part, because we haven't fulfilled that part as of yet. Me in particular, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure I am secure. Okay? And then on top of that, the other thing that I'm seeing, and many of my friends are seeing, is that a lot of men our age don't want to be married. I know people who have actually, and then there's some that, they wait really late to get married. I know people who have been in a relationship when they were in their 30s, dated the same person, and they didn't marry until they were in their 60s. So, listen, marriage is just not, how do I say this? It's not a guarantee. So I say, you don't have to. If you want to, go ahead. But no, you don't have to. The other thing too, speaking of finances, suppose you fall in love with someone whose credit is not good. Once you get married, their credit can actually mess up your credit and pull you down. Next, the person that you marry, they might have a gambling habit, drug or alcohol addiction. They might be shopaholics or have some type of expensive vice that they have not necessarily been treated for. That will hurt your finances because, see, when you marry, your finances and their finances, they sort of join together, you see. So that's another thing that you want to think about. And I know that some people think, oh, well, the banks, they may discriminate against me because I'm single. Well, listen, I purchased my first home 20 years ago, and I really didn't feel as though I was being discriminated against by any of the banks. I think to a certain extent, they prefer people who are single as opposed to, let's say, those who've been in a divorce or through a divorce, because a lot of times their finances, that's when it really gets messed up. Plus, the other thing about it is I bought a multifamily. So when you buy a multifamily, they see the other apartments as additional income, even if there's no tenant living in that property. And mind you, my property was brand new. There was no building here at all. Because see, before purchasing, I used to go to a church that was pretty much across the street from where I live. And it was just an empty lot for about, gosh, maybe like 5 years. And then all of a sudden they decided to build on the empty lot. And yet I still was able to get a loan from the bank. You see? So don't let the fact that you are single deter you or make you think that, oh no, I'm not going to be able to afford it, or the bank is not going to give me a loan because I'm single and they're going to disqualify me because there's only one income. That is not necessarily true. And in my case, it wasn't true. My neighbor next door that used to live next to me, excuse me, she was also single. There was another lady on the block who was also single. So no, being single don't let being single stop you from your dreams of owning a home. If you want to own it, go ahead and own it. So now, if you are single, I will say this. I'm not too big on people who are single buying a single family home, because a home is work. The only way that I will say, okay, buy a single family home if you are a single person, is if you plan to make money off of that particular property. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't, because there's no extra income coming in, if when you have the multi, you can use a single family residence and make more money, but I know a lot of people that don't. And if you do it that way, it may be a hardship or a burden on you, because you're going to be paying taxes. Your mortgage might be slightly higher than what you're paying in rent in some cases, but of course not in all. So that's why I say this. So as far as money is concerned, if you are a first-time home buyer and you're single, I say definitely work on fixing your credit, reducing debt. We have financial empowerment zones. We have free financial advisors out there. There's a whole list of programs out there that will help you get on the right track. If you can, apply for loan forgiveness, particularly those of you who have student loans. Look into it. Go to thecollegeinvestor.com, and they have a breakdown by state. Depending on what profession you're in, there are certain states that will give you loan forgiveness as long as you agree to live and work in that state for at least 5 years. So that's something to look into. Another thing is look into programs like Unison, which will partner up with you to help you buy property. And then this way you don't have to put down such a large down payment. If you don't have 20%, good. You got 10%, put 10% down. Unison will put the other 10% down. And then when you sell the property, you only have to give them 17% of the original price. So if you bought the property for $250,000 and you decide to sell it and you make $4 million, you don't give them 17% of the $4 million. You give them 17% of the $250,000. Got it? Good. Next, there is something called mortgage protection life insurance, which will pay your mortgage in case you lose your job or get sick. I personally did not get that. Mainly because the other people that I live with, they have jobs. But let's say you are a single parent mother and you have children, or you're a single parent father with children. That is something that you might want to look into as a safety net. And also, lastly, if you do fall into any kind of trouble after you buy the home and you get the mortgage, and let's say you become unemployed or underemployed or what have you, go to needhelppayingbills.com and it will show you a list of resources of where you can go and get help to have your mortgage paid. There is a catch. Normally, the catch is that after you receive the help, that you stay living in that particular house for 5 years. You can't sell the house like a year or two during that particular crisis. So, well, folks, hopefully the information that I've shared will help you make smart financial moves. That's all I have for you today. Please feel free to share it. Remember, each one reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.